To make the watermelon cane, you're going to need red, black, green, and translucent clay. I have 2 bars of translucent, and I'm going to mix it with a tiny bit of green because I want a very light green for part of it. This is when the pasta machine's nice because this clay is really hard and it's really mixing slow. Here's my pasta machine, and we're still mixing green. And actually, I'm going to leave it a little bit not mixed together, just because that will be such a pretty color for a watermelon. And just so you know, I'm not only teaching humans about clay, but the chickens have come. So I took some green clay and I rolled it out on a number 1, and then I had a nice long little piece of clay, and I have my light green clay over here. Oh, and this is dark green. Then I sliced it, the long piece of clay. I just kept making slices, so now I have some slices, and I'm going to lay them on top of the light green clay, and I'll run that through the pasta machine in a minute. Just lay them across like that. So on my largest setting, I'm going to take my light colored clay with my strips of dark green. Oops, come here. I'm going to take it right over to the edge so it doesn't flop around too much. And then you end up with something like this. Now I've rolled it through on a number 4, and see how long it is? And it's like see-through. It's wonderful stuff. This is going to be the skin. So I've mixed 2 parts, 2 like bars, like half of a package of clay that's translucent, and I actually use Primo, not Sculpey. And then I cut off a slice of red clay, about this big, this tiny little piece, and you may even use a little bit less than that if you want. And this red is Primo, and it's Cadmium Red Hue, number 5382. And mixed that together in the pasta machine and came up with this. And this is my watermelon color. Let's see. Yeah, not bad. I've rolled out some white clay with a tiny bit of translucent in it, and maybe 3 parts white to 1 part translucent. And then I've rolled it out on a number 1 on the pasta machine, and right now it's doing this really terrible texture, probably because it's old clay. But if your clay does do that with the watermelon, especially the white part or the red part, it's perfectly fine because it's not even on the inside, it's jagged anyway, so that'll work. So I've rolled out several pieces of teeny tiny little snakes out of black, and these are going to be the seeds. And I have the inside red color that I have. I made a thick snake for that, and this is going to be the extreme center. And then I'm going to take the little seeds and put them around this. And I'll go all the way around with the seeds, but make sure you leave spaces in between. So I've wrapped the red with the streaks of black all the way around, and I'm going to take a bit of the red and wrap it 1 time around. Cut that off. And just make sure it goes all the way around. Covers up the black. And this is rolled out on the number 1, the red, so it's kind of thick. Cover up your black there, and then you take more of the tiny snakes and attach them all the way around again. Then you're going to roll it, and you have 2 layers of the red with the black and white. Then you're going to take your, your red clay, and you're going to wrap it around like that. You want it to meet up. You want the edges to meet up. You don't want them to overlap. So squish that together. See what I'm doing here? You kind of squish it like that. get them all together, and you roll it. Then I'm going to take my, oopsie, I'm going to take my long green clay and back it up a little so you can see. And this is really long. I'm going to cut off the edge so I have a nice flat edge, straight edge there to work with. And I'm going to wrap it. Oh, wait, no, stop. Cease, desist. Shoot. Okay. Let me begin again. Lay down your white and make that a straight edge. Then wrap it one time around and cut it. Okay, wrap your white around just like that. Then you grab your final layer, your outside layer, and wrap it around one time and seal it in. And I had a little extra, my white ball or white worm was too big, so I had to take some slices and fill in here, and you just pinch it together to make it work, and it doesn't have to be exactly perfect. So it kind of looks like the size of a hot dog right now, and I've sealed in the ends just by pinching with my fingers, but that's not really supposed to be, you know, the end or like the edge of a watermelon, unless you really wanted it to be. And if you want it to be like a life-size watermelon, you would cut it, and this isn't gonna fit. No, here, this will work. If I was gonna make a life-size watermelon, there's my watermelon, by the way. If I was gonna make the life-size one, I would go like this, and then I would try and pull the green edges around, and possibly even use some scrap clay to cover it. I'm getting some white bleeding through, but that's actually not too bad. And then just use your hands to shape it. Use the table, use whatever you have. Get those all sealed in. And there you would have an actual watermelon, and you can slice it in half, and then it looks like a real watermelon, even if you slice it. If you take it and put it in the fridge for a while, it'll harden up enough so that you can slice it without it smearing so bad. So you'd want to do that. Anyway, here's your watermelon. Let me get closer for you, because all you guys like it close. You take a slice. Just reshape it if it loses some of its shape. Then slice it in half, and you are ready to go. You have your watermelon. And that's all there is to a watermelon cane.